Well, good morning, everybody. It's another happy Monday, and I'm so glad to be with you because this wraps up the series of discussions we've had on keeping a good frame of mind, keeping a positive attitude, uh, squaring away our thoughts as we try to live our best lives. And just a quick summary of the key points that we've covered during this time is being emotionally aware, being able to be in control of our emotions, to increase our self-esteem, to work on being more resilient, to develop healthy relationships that benefit everyone involved, to practice self-care. And the last one that we're going to discuss today is why. The purpose and meaning. Who's in charge of me, in fact? Um, I think that a sense of purpose and meaning in life gives us a reason to strive for personal growth and fulfillment. It can come from work we do, it can come from our hobbies, it can come from volunteering uh, or other meaningful pursuits. It's important, I think, that we practically make our best efforts to connect with reality by focusing on our daily decisions, self commitment, and our actions that we take each and every day. At the very beginning of this particular discussion, I suggested it might be helpful for us to sort of look at things that have meaning to us throughout our lives that we've sort of used as benchmarks, sayings, quotes, s- uh, comments from writers that we admire. And I'd like to share two of them with you right now. The first one, it comes from Buddha, and it's one that I have used um, for as long as I can practically remember, at least from uh, the time that I was, if you believe it, a senior in high school. And it goes like this, it's really short. Do not dwell in the past, nor dream of the future. Concentrate the mind on the present moment. And to me, that always meant pay attention to your life as it is right now in this moment and how to make the best of the life that you are living in the current state. And then the other one is one I came upon probably in my 30s from a writer that I appreciate highly, Mary Ann Radmacher. And I'm sure some of you know this because it's a very popular uh, quote. And it goes like this: live with intention, walk on the edge, listen hard, practice wellness, play with abandon, laugh, choose with no regret, appreciate your friends, continue to learn, do what you love, live as if this is all there is. So those are sort of two things that are in the background every day as I'm living my life. And I try every morning when I get up to just remember those two mantras, if you will. The challenge I think that we have is to find a path that will move through the events in our lives that can create isolation, distress, fear, or contagion, anxiety, depression, insomnia, financial hardship, and even post-traumatic stress. And if you think that you have been exempt for those, I just ask you to reflect on how life changed in March of 2020 when our country shut down because of COVID. These are things that I had never really given a lot of thought to uh, until that moment. And I needed, and I think our almost all of us needed to adapt quickly to effectively respond, recover, and thrive beyond this new reality. And that to me is sort of a metaphor for life, uh, encapsulated in that one brief period of time. Life changed in ways that I would never have expected or anticipated. And that was a real challenge to me to rise to the occasion, to continue to find ways to live my best life. And it required every skill I had in order to try to accomplish that task. Maybe you went through it much more easily than I did. But for me, that isolation period was extremely difficult. It was also an opportunity. Uh, I got to join with many other people who were sharing the same experience, and we focused on common concerns that were aimed at enabling each of us to be still the authors of our own lives. We did it here in our empowering group, particularly. That's when I started the weekly Monday check in, which has continued. To the current time, so that we could have a chance to reach out and share experiences and focus on common concerns. Instead of being anxious or depressed, being stuck in the present by holding on to the past, unable to connect with the future, with each other's support, we are finding the resilience to sustain hope and move forward. We are both free and responsible for determining what direction our lives are going to take. And that's a huge opportunity to have. And it's so essential for me to have people to accompany me on the journey as I work toward living my best life. Again, if you look back to everything that we have discussed here in the last period of time, being aware of how my emotions were impacted by this change of circumstance, learning how to deal with emotions I had not had to deal with for a long period of time, a sustained period of time, was really a challenge for me. Uh, Keeping my self esteem up and being adaptable, being resilient, uh, being willing to change as change was certainly needed. And in our lives, change is always going to be a huge factor that we have to consider as we move forward. Nothing changes unless something changes. And then having healthy relationships. And again, I'm so grateful for all of you for being there for me as we work together to find a new normal and carve out a new way of relating to each other in a meaningful, sustaining way. Um, and then practicing self-care. I think during the period where we were extremely isolated, self-care was one of those things that for many of us for a while seemed to fall by the wayside. Um, we wanted to sort of, or I can't speak for you, but I sort of wanted to wallow in my own self-pity or my own change of circumstances that were, I said, were beyond my control, only to find with considerable thought, listening, and your help and support that no, these things are still within my control. I am still in charge of me. Uh, I can still make decisions for myself and practice good self-care. And why? Why would I want to do this? For what purpose? For what meaning would I still want to try to be an active player in my life? Well, simply put, Uh, Working toward living our best lives, I think, is definitely worth all the effort we make each and every day. Personal meaning relates to a life purpose, um, a sense of direction, an order, and a reason for existing. Why am I here? What's it all about anyway? Um, why is it important that I direct my life along a certain pathway? When our meaning in life is high, I think we spend more time and effort focused on our goals. And when we focus on our goals, that helps counter sadness, hopelessness, and even depression to a degree. It acts as a buffer against the effect of stress, even when we have a reason to carry on, to move forward, to do the best we can do. Uh, Strategically, I think we need to always act with intention, uh, uh, practice that intentionality, deliberately choose. Uh, we have to use our own will. We need to always remember that we are free to make our choices, but with that freedom comes a responsibility for the outcomes of our choices. That was really helpful in grounding me as I moved through changes at every level in my life with the events of 2020, probably concentrating them in a time and place for so many of us to really look at and give thought to. The benefits I found were huge during this period of time since COVID hit. I think not just me, but a lot of people that with whom I've talked about this seem to feel these ways that we have benefited from this terrible event by being more self-aware, uh, actually knowing ourselves better, taking responsibility for what we can do to ameliorate this situation, to exercise our freedom of choice of thoughts and actions that will impact the direction and the quality of our lives, making us stronger. Sometimes I wonder, had it not been for having to step up to the plate in my own life and filling a gap in a new way because I am a social creature, if I would be the person I am right now, because we constantly grow and evolve. I know that through this, I have developed more self confidence, and I'm proud. Uh, that I had the power to establish boundaries and rules and ways of acting that were beneficial, not just to me, but to those around me. And it was wonderful to see so many of us become real captains of our own fate. There are three questions I think about during quiet moments almost every day. And I'll just share them with you. Maybe there are questions you want to think about. Uh, how am I currently living my life? Am I maximizing it? I am I satisfied with it? Are there areas of improvement that I could explore? And the second question is, how do I want to live my life moving forward? Do I see things that I can change to make better, to improve upon, let go of, reconsider, adapt, modify, whatever? Uh, and I think all of us, when we look at this, can see areas that we could change and improve. or discontinue, if we're really honest with ourselves. Things that may not be working for us any longer. Uh, Also, the third question uh, would be to look at the gap between the first question, how I'm currently living my life, and how I want to live my life. And then think about if I tried just a little bit harder, maybe 10%, gave it 10% more effort, uh, what would the purpose and meaning of my life become? How much would it improve? And am I willing to give myself just a little bit more effort in order to live my very best life? Because what we're about is maximizing our time on the planet to do, or at least I'd like to think I tried to make a difference uh, throughout my time on the planet to help somebody else at some point in time. Uh, to me, that is my greatest purpose, to make some small difference for someone else, to help them have the best life they can have too. I consider myself really lucky to have, up to this point, lived a very satisfying life. I have many, many blessings, and among my many blessings are each and every one of you. You teach me every day. Um, I came across quite a few years ago a poem. The author is unknown, and how I came across this poem was through a news story of all things. I think some of you may remember the reporter Terry Anderson, who had been captured uh, uh, and held prisoner in virtual isolation for quite a few years. And uh, despite that, when he came out of the situation and had been freed, uh, he was amazingly intact. You know, he was still uh, strong within himself and seemed to have survived his period of isolation and incarceration remarkably well. And there were people were asking him, how did you do this? You know, what made it possible for you to survive? And he shared many things with them, his faith being one, uh, things that he remembered that he would recite to himself, in the isolated confines of his cell when things were going really bad. But he said that he had found in his pocket, which had apparently escaped the scrutiny of his captors, uh, a little poem that he had clipped out of the newspaper, and that's the one I'm talking about. And every single day, sometimes more than once a day, he would reflect on this poem, and it helped sustain him through his period. And it goes to frame of mind, keeping a good frame of mind, which is what we've all been talking about here. And I'm going to share it with you as I conclude this talk, because for me, uh, it reflects how I hope everyone would want to live their life as best that they can, overcoming so much, because he overcame uh, so many challenges during his period of captivity. And the title of the poem is simple. It's Today. And today is all we have. You know, we live in the present. We need to always celebrate the present, because tomorrow is never guaranteed and the past can't be recovered. Uh, or altered in any way because it's already happened. So just let me share it with you, and perhaps it'll touch a note with you as well. Outside my window, a new day I see, only I can determine what kind of a day it will be. It can be busy and sunny, happy and gay, or boring and cold, unhappy and gray. My own state of mind is the determining key, for I am the person I let myself be. I can be thoughtful and do all that I can to help, or be selfish and think just of myself. I can enjoy what I do and make it seem fun, or gripe and complain and make it hard on someone. I can be patient with those who may not understand, or belittle and hurt them as much as I can. And here's the kicker. But I have faith in myself, and I believe what I say, and I personally intend to make the best of each day. So everybody, let's go out there. I know you will make the best of each day and make a difference for everybody you touch. Thanks so much for sharing this time with me, and I will talk to you later. Bye for now.